for a rant, because today I'm going to be ranting about people who analyse conversations whilst you're having the conversation. A classic example of this is when you're just walking along doing something, maybe you and your friend are just walking along and there's a couple of other people there, and then there's just a bit of like a pause and no one really feels like saying anything, and then there's that one guy who's just like, awkward silence. No, it wasn't awkward. It wasn't awkward at all. You sort of look at him like, that was a great contribution. You really got the ebb and flow of the banter going. So annoying. So annoying. Doesn't help at all. It's not even funny. When I was like 7, if you did that, you were the funniest kid in the world. So in the middle of like tests, when you were supposed to be silent, some kid would go, awkward silence. And I'll be like, no, it's not awkward. It's an intended silence because we're doing a test. Even if the silence was awkward, what are you supposed to say to that when someone says awkward silence? Are you supposed to be like, yeah, that was an awkward silence. That was a great conversation starter. What I'm trying to say is don't ever say it, please. And to be honest, not many people say it anymore nowadays. But it's not just awkward silence. There's loads of other really annoying things people say when you're having a conversation with them. This is a bit more recent. Quite often when you're having a conversation with someone and they're not particularly enjoying the conversation, maybe you try and like be funny and like they just don't find it funny. I mean, that never happens to me because I'm always making everyone laugh so badly. I'm just the comedian of my year. So when that happens and you try and be funny and then they're not, I hate it when people go, great banter, because it's like completely undermining everything that I've just said. You're undermining it all with our sarcastic great banter. It's just rude, you know what? That is just rude because you're undermining everything that someone says. It's just offensive, it's just rude, and it's just not nice. If you don't think the banter's great because you're saying it sarcastically, then why don't you bring something great to the banter instead of sarcastically analysing the fact that it's not great? Here's something that annoys me a bit less so I won't get so flippin' crazy and ragey about it. But when you're going on and you're having a conversation with someone and it goes a little bit weird, but you just sort of play along with it. Say, for example, you were talking about if pineapples were people. Yeah, I think pineapples would be like quite nice. I think they'd be like quite sweet on the inside, but on the outside they just sort of seem a bit prickly and a bit sharp. Oh really? I think they'd be more sort of like hang out with the tomatoes sort of in the crib and they'd spit some sick bars and they'd sort of be in the club quite a lot and they'd be real party animals. No, I think they'd seem like quite party animals, but they'd be more serious on the inside. So you're having this great conversation, it's going fine, and then out of nowhere the person's like, this conversation's really weird. What are you supposed to say there? They've basically rolled along with the conversation a bit, going, yeah, I'll keep going with this conversation. Then suddenly gone, hold up, I don't like this no more, completely contradicted themselves, gone back on themselves, and basically stopped it right there. If you want to change the subject of the conversation, at least try and do it subtly. Don't just be like, stop it, boom, bang, cut. That's not really how it works. And if somebody says to you, this conversation's weird, then it makes it feel like that's your fault, as if you've messed up and made a weird conversation with someone. I mean, what are you supposed to do in that situation? I mean, obviously, you know, most people would easily breeze through it, but still, just for people who can't and aren't as socially adept as you, don't ever say this conversation's weird. Just try and subtly change it, please. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your moral tale of today. Oh, but wait, there's more. My last thing is when people just go out straight up and say, the conversation's really bad, or this conversation's really boring. Don't say that, you little idiot, you moronical little beast. If it's boring and you are finding it boring, contribute something to the conversation. Otherwise, shut up. Thank you, children, for that spiritual lesson on how to talk with other humans and social interactions. Goodbye. Great banter!